do you think, Dad? Should we do some paragliding?
I think I'll pass. My days of doing that stuff is kind of over.
Well, that's such a shame because this is actually the adventure capital of Laos. You can do all the amazing adventure sports here like paragliding, rock climbing, kayaking. You can take a hot air balloon ride here. That's very popular. But yeah, I'm probably going to be doing the adventure sports by myself, right, Dad?
I think so.
In this first part of the video, I'm going to show you guys the actual town site. We're going to go to a cave that I've been meaning to show my dad. And then later on in the video, I'll show you guys some of the more extreme sort of sports that you can do here. But before we get going, I wanted to share with you guys this amazing cafe that I have been coming to almost every single day. It is called Pole Mind Cafe, and it has this incredible view of the surrounding nature. As you can see, the bungalows are a very popular place to stay in this area because it is a little bit more rugged, a little bit more rural. The sun is quite unrelenting though, so it's also nice to sit inside if you like. But this is just such a beautiful place to come and have a coffee. Welcome to Vang Vieng, friends. This is a small city in northern Laos with a population of about 25,000 people. It's a fairly popular stop whether you're coming from Luang Prabang like we were or from Vang Vieng. It's kind of in the middle of the two destinations and now can be reached within an hour if you're going by train. Now, while I mentioned in the beginning of the video that Vang Vieng is especially known for adventure sports, that's not really what it was known for just a decade ago and what reputation still follows it to a certain extent now. Its dark underbelly was at its height about 20 years ago, where this was one of the top places to go in Southeast Asia if you wanted to take a lot of drugs and didn't really care about any sort of safety standards. I don't think I should have to explain just how bad taking these substances is for your health and well-being, but on top of that, and because it was so unregulated, a lot of people were taking these things while doing some very dangerous activities that also should have been better regulated by the tourism authorities. In 2011 alone, there was 27 recorded traveler deaths, and many people believe there were substantially more because a lot of those injured get taken into Vang Vieng, which has much better hospital facilities than Vang Vieng, and are then counted as deaths if they pass away in the hospital there. Thankfully, Vang Vieng has really begun to clean up its act, especially in the last 5 years, and a lot of the more serious things that used to go on in this little town are not so common now. But having said that, there is still a lot of work to do, as I experienced for myself and as I'm going to show you guys in this video. So here we are in the bustling downtown center of Vang Vieng. Dad, would you say that this is busier than Kinistino?
Yes.
By how much?
A little bit.
Kinistino is the small town that me and my dad grew up in Saskatchewan. It's a lot busier. This is 20,000 people, not 800.
Yeah, but Kinestino, everybody has 2 or 3 vehicles.
But yeah, just wanted to show you guys the downtown core, and if anybody is looking for a suggestion of a hotel to stay at, not at all sponsored, where are we staying, Dad?
Premier Hotel.
Yeah, Premier Hotel and Suites, something like that. It's a family-run, budget-friendly sort of hotel. I think we're paying about 30 Canadian dollars a night each, breakfast included, so that'd be like 22, 23 US, very reasonable. But you can find a lot of great guest houses in this area, and there's a few more fancy sort of places. There's a Amari hotel that seems to be quite popular if you're looking for something, you know, a bit higher class. But yeah, we are gonna now head down to the river and start going over to the other side of Vang Vieng, which probably would be a bit quieter if you were looking for not the busy part of the city. All right, guys, we are at the start of a pretty epic climb to Vang Vieng Cave, which is a pretty important kind of historical site as well here in Vang Vieng, because it was in this cave that locals actually hid from Chinese invaders in the 19th century. Now it is just a sort of spiritual place for people to visit. There's supposed to be a few Buddha statues in there, but you gotta climb 200 stairs to get to the top. That was 100% the coolest cave that I have ever been in. What about you, Dad?
Yeah, really awesome. Worthwhile seeing. If you come here, absolutely and must.
100%. And the fact that it's only like 20 or 15,000 kip, which is $1 Canadian, so like 75 cents US. Super worth it. I can absolutely see why this is one of the top attractions in Vang Vieng, even though, like I said, there are so many caves. And I think now we'll actually jump to the adventure day that I had yesterday that my dad didn't join me for, because I think you do have to be, you know, younger or super fit to do. And the first thing that we did was the water cave. To preface this full day adventure for anybody thinking of doing it, I booked this tour through my hotel, but there are endless amount of tour agencies in Vang Vieng. Most of them have similar pricing, but you still may want to shop around just to make sure you are getting the average sort of price. My particular tour, including lunch, was about $35 US, which for all the activities we did was incredibly reasonable. Our first activity of the day was the water cave, which in and of itself isn't particularly big, but it is completely filled with water, so the only way you can really experience it is by floating on a tube. Thankfully, they do give headlamps because it is extremely dark in there, and you're supposed to hold on to this sort of rope that goes through here. It was a really cool experience to be able to see a cave in this way, but I won't lie, it was also quite chaotic. People were freaking out, and it was super easy to bang yourself into the cave walls, which are a bit jagged and hard, so some people got some, minor bumps and bruises along the way, but if you managed to stay calm and hold on to the rope, it wasn't too bad. Our second activity of the day, though, was a bit more questionable, and I say this as someone who has done a lot of zip lines in a lot of different places in the world. There were just a few things that made me a little bit apprehensive about doing this 8 times, because there was like 8 different zip lines. First of all was the actual trek to get to the start of the zip line, which wasn't really a path, but instead a bit of a scramble up the mountain without really proper platforms. Thankfully, they do clip you onto a sort of stationary pose so you don't fall off while you're waiting for your turn, but that was kind of the first thing that gave me a little bit of a red flag that I had never experienced anywhere else. And second of all, the state of the equipment that was being used, I could tell wasn't particularly in the best shape. Obviously, I assume they are checking their equipment every single day and doing different safety tests, but you could just tell that it was quite old. The guides were fantastic though, like they did seem very caring, and they were obviously doing the zip lines with us, so they were checking everything over as we went along. So overall, I did feel safe, just, you know, certain things could be improved, and I think it would make a big difference just because some of the stuff did look in a bit of disrepair. But then again, you are paying $35 US for like 4 activities throughout the day, so I think you should keep your expectations in line with that. As long as everything is fairly safe, that is my biggest concern. And one quick caveat is that I would not recommend the ziplining for anyone who has a fear of heights, obviously, but because you also get dropped straight down at the end, almost like a bungee, but they catch you right at the end. I didn't know that they were going to do this, and so I was just, I did not enjoy that last run because all of your organs basically go to the top of your head when they drop you, even for a split second. It is just a terrible feeling, but other than that, it was fun. Our third activity of the day was kayaking and was overall a lot less dramatic than the first two, but I am a bit biased in saying that because I got to go with the actual guide since I didn't have a partner, so he did basically all the heavy lifting and steering. I just got to do a simple little paddle. Wasn't at all scary to go down the rapids because he basically took care of everything, but I guess if you were two inexperienced people going down some baby rapids, it might be a little bit scary. And last but certainly not least, we ended our day at the Blue Lagoon, which is more or less a swimming hole, and it's actually one of 3 or 4, I can't quite remember, but there's a few different ones in Vang Vieng that are this beautiful shade of blue that you can go for a swim in. So all in all, it was a great day. I did really enjoy myself. The nature is absolutely beautiful here. Alright guys, so my dad obviously shouldn't do the adventure sports I did, but we're just gonna see how you do with this one. Yeah, how far we go.
Or I go.
That you go with this super famous lookout point here in the city called Mcleod. From reading the Google reviews, some people said they got up here as fast as 15 minutes, others said it took them 45 minutes to an hour, so we're gonna hope for the best, but we also know that it's kind of rugged, unstable terrain, so if it ever becomes too hard, obviously my dad will just turn back. Yeah, guys, this is pretty freaking bad. Like, this is way worse than I thought it would be. Like, my dad has already done amazing to get up this high. Like, look at this. Like,
I mean,
look
I
at
would
this
do
drop.
more, but
Yeah, no, I don't think.
but if it's all the rest like this,
I know. maybe it's not worth
and
it.
you gotta come down.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think would be the safest option, and like I think I can do it, but yeah, I'm gonna give you my purse because it's hard to carry my purse. Let's get you to a safe spot, maybe just there.
I'll just
No,
go,
no, you're not going all the way down by yourself. You got to have somebody with you.
But I'll
You
go
just
very, very slow.
No, you will wait for
yes,
me.
Mama.
You will wait for me.
Yes, Grandma.
Okay, and then we'll go down together. It
Okay.
shouldn't take me that long.
I'll find a place to sit down.
Okay. Whoever said that they did this climb in 15 to 20 minutes in the Google reviews, I would like to see it. I would like to see somebody do this climb in 15 to 20 minutes that is not a professional athlete. This was something else. Yes, if you're in your early 20s, 30s, maybe even 40s and are used to scrambling in the mountains, probably you'll be able to do this and it's not that big of a deal. But to call this a regular tourist attraction, and the way that it was advertised at many different tour agencies, which would include this viewpoint as a part of a tour, makes it seem that it's a lot more manageable and safe than it really is. Once you got up there, of course, it is an incredible view, absolutely stunning, and it is really cool that they have placed, well, somewhat precariously, 2 motorcycles on the edge of a cliff that you can sit on and take really cool pictures on. But once again, it's very precarious. The platform itself is really shantily made. There's not even sides on some of the platforms, so it would be super easy to have a misstep or have someone bump into you, considering just how many people get up here. I know everyone has different risk tolerances, and to some people this is going to be no big deal, you know, YOLO sort of lifestyle. Other people wouldn't even attempt going up something like this, and I can understand both sides. It really is up to you. That's why I wanted to make this video, so people get a more realistic expectation of what the current sort of attractions are like in Vang Vieng. Yes, I'm sure they have made many positive strides in making this a more family-friendly and safer sort of place, but to be honest, I think there's still a lot of work to do. So after a long and very sweaty day, we had a shower at the hotel, got freshened up for dinner, because we are going to a very special place. Dad, where are we going?
North Korean restaurant.
Yep. I don't think I mentioned it before, but there is a huge amount of tourists from Korea here, I mean South Korea and China, but I guess there is actually some people from North Korea here, like genuinely. This isn't like, you know, put on or something. It is actual citizens from North Korea who, I guess, you know, get a pass to travel internationally, and they have made this restaurant. There was actually something similar that I went to in Vladivostok in the east of Russia, where yeah, it was a North Korean restaurant and they were there on like special work visas, and it was a very interesting experience. So I'm not sure what to expect with this one. Apparently at 7 o'clock they have a sort of musical performance as well, so we'll see what it's like. Alright, I think we have arrived. A little bit out of the way, but I think so. I don't know. We're looking for Pyongyang restaurant. The top part here kind of looks like a restaurant. I guess we'll find out. Oh yeah, this is it. Well, that was definitely one of the strangest restaurant experiences of my life. How
Yeah.
about you, Dad?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Did you like it?
Yeah, they were very talented.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of thoughts about it, to be honest. I'm a little sad I couldn't film because at the end of the day, like, what's the big deal, I guess, because it is, North Korea. That's the big deal. But I don't see what, taking a few videos and pictures would really change. So I found it very strange, that they were so adamant about it. But the other thing that kind of bothered me is because we were literally the only two foreigners, I felt like we didn't really get that good of service, like especially when we first got there. I almost felt like they didn't want us to be there, and like nobody, came to take our order until I like really flagged a guy down, so we didn't feel particularly welcome. But we actually came for the performance that, by the way, happens or supposed to happen at 7 p.m. every day, where the ladies actually put on like a show with instruments. It was singing, and it was very good, right? Like they're very talented.
They're very talented, yeah, and play different instruments.
So that was worth it, and that was nice. The food, I wouldn't say was very good. Like I've had, a lot of South Korean, I guess, cooking, but I assume there's some similarities, and it was not at all as good as like other Korean food I've had. I would just call it like 3 out of 5. But nevertheless, it was an experience. It was interesting. Can't say you see a lot of North Korean restaurants, as an everyday thing. But yeah, that concludes our video for the night, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Dad, thank you for working so hard to keep up with me.
Oh yeah, I'm working very hard.
You did great. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you've ever been to Vang Vieng. What was your experience? And tomorrow we are going to be off to the capital, Vientiane, so stay tuned for that video. As always, I'm sending you so much love. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and keep being your own kind of beautiful. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.